So normally we do big review as a class, maybe even spend a few days on it and all that. I don't really have the opportunity for that here. So I'm going to give you a quick review of some of the stuff you're going to need for the placement test. And just to remind you of some of the stuff that we've done this year. So we're going to start off. So we're going to start off with decimals. And remember, adding and subtracting decimals when you have something like 1.6 plus 0.32. Important thing for adding and subtracting decimals is to actually line up the decimal point. You turn this into 1.6, and then we put the decimal point in the same spot, and this becomes 3.2. We can add a zero there, and then we just go ahead and add them together, 291, and there we go. Now, when we're multiplying with decimals, important thing when we're multiplying with decimals is we don't have to extend them. We don't have to make them longer like we did right here. We don't need this piece when we're multiplying decimals. If we're multiplying decimals, we can just stack them right on top of each other, and I'd probably do this the other way. If I had 1.6 times 0.32, I would probably go put the 1.6 down here, 1.6, and put 0.32, because it's not really the important piece here is not to line them up, but to know how many decimal points we're removing. 1, 2, 3. So we take away. We have 2 of them here and 3 of them there. So when we do the math, we need to go back and make sure we add it back in. 3 points. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I guess this technically should probably just be 1 so that we're putting it in right. All right, so, and then we kind of do multiplication as normal as if we had 32 times 16, where we take the 6, this becomes a 2, carry the 1, and that becomes 18 or 19. And then over here we put down, that's a 9, put down our blank there, and then 1 times 3 and 2. And then we go ahead and add it, 2, and let's see, 2, and this is 9, 10, 11, 2 times, 11, so 1, carry the 1, and 5, and then we go ahead and bring it back in, 1, 2, 3, so our final answer here is 0.512. And then division, this is where I know a lot of people tend to get mixed up. Division, pretty simple, but you got to remember to do this. Let's say we were doing 1.6 divided by 0.32. Well, in this case, divided by 0.32 means this goes on the outside, 0.32. And then we've got to go ahead and do this, and we have 1.6. And the important part here is that we're going to move this decimal twice. So we have to move this decimal twice, which means we're adding a 0 here. We're putting that decimal point, after we move it, we're going to put it up above as well. Now we're just going to go ahead and do normal, some normal division, and 32 goes in there, and it turns out it goes in 5 times, but it's really important we put that 5 in the right place, because if we put it in the wrong place, or we have the decimal in the wrong place, we can end up with the wrong answer. So decimals is a big part of what's on the test, being able to do that, being able to convert between fractions, decimals, and percents. Those are things you're going to want to go back and look at. Being able to convert, if you have something that's, 0.72, to know that that is going to equal 72%, and know that that's going to equal 72 over 100, and then be able to simplify that fraction down. That's going to be something that's going to be important. The other thing I want to make sure you remember is all of the fraction work that we've been doing. Specifically, we've been adding and subtracting fractions is something you've done before, but it will show up on there with mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So you're going to need to be able to do that. And then you're going to need to be able to multiply and divide fractions. One thing to remember is when you are adding and subtracting, so for add and subtract, you need a common denominator. However, for multiplication and division, what you really need for multiplication and division is you need no mixed numbers. So you need to change them from mixed numbers to improper fractions for multiplication and division. You don't necessarily have to do that up here for the addition and subtraction, but you definitely want to do it for the multiplication and division. And remember, our multiplication, we multiply straight across, and division, we KFC, then multiply across. Running out of room here. So, those are kind of the key things that I want you to think about and remember. What I advise you do is take your journal, go back through, reread your journal, and study. Because remember, on the test, this is no calculator, no notes, no help. It's you on your own, and you are going to have to take the test in one sitting. So once you go ahead and log in and take it, I don't have a time limit on that, but you are going to have to go ahead and take it. Make sure that you are logged in with your Coopville email so that I can see who it is that's taking it. It asks for your name too. But you do need to go through that whole test, and you'll have the next couple of days to go ahead and do that.